Yo, Holmes, are you ready to get extreme with learning? I'm about to sink your teeth into some knowledge, son. Oh, is it 5 o'clock already? Because I'm about to get my think on. Don't diss me, because I'll make history. I am so white right now. Well, now I know how 1973 feels.
You'll be feeling a lot worse if you don't take this seriously, Sweet Tooth. Because if you don't pass this crucial test, then there's going to be hell to pay.
With an episode title like Testing, 1, 2, 3, it's either gonna be about the ponies finally achieving the fleet of rocket science, or learning. It's the latter. Starting off, Twilight tries to convince Rainbow Dash to take her studying for the history of the Wonderbolts exam seriously, even trying a failed quote-unquote sneak attack. Remember this fact, kids, you'll be quizzed on it later. So Rainbow Dash is finally forced to sit down and learn. Well, a term I use very loosely. Through the comedic routines of being distracted and classic classroom pranks on the teacher, you can see that this scenario is actually relatable. Any child who has been to school knows the trials and the frustrations of trying to get through just one day expected to learn something, all the while having more pressure be put on the table when you won't be able to do your dream job if you don't pass the crucial tests. Watching this episode is making me think back to those times as something nerve-breaking and all too real. And hey, that just ties in perfectly for my first question. Let's see, what has Rainbow Dash learned throughout this whole first act of the episode? I'm gonna put not a thing because it's alternative and it gives me character. So after the tactics of chalkboards and flashcards failing outright, different techniques are to be used to help Rainbow Dash learn some history, like putting on a school play, getting down with an obviously dated rap number, and having Dashy's friends dress up as important figures of the Wonderbolts. Was this just a script untouched from the 90s until Friendship is Magic found it in a dump and thought, yeah, kids today will get this? But you know what, despite these dated and eye-rolling tricks, the struggle to try and learn something is still there. Rainbow Dash clearly goes through all the stages of trying her best, but ultimately getting nowhere. It's kind of like that episode of The Simpsons, Bart Gets an F. Similar ordeals that Bart had to go through in that episode is also translated to this episode of My Little Pony. And it's done just as well. Even if the times have changed, the life lessons will certainly not. And it'll go through the years and just be as respected by each passing day for it. And hey, wouldn't you know, another question's shown up just in time for this silly little test. Let's see, next question. What has Rainbow Dash learned throughout the whole second act of this episode? Oh, you know what? That's kind of a tough one. I'll go with not a thing again, since it's cute the way I take things seriously, although not really.
You're going to fail the test if you keep using that same answer, you know!
Oh, don't worry, Twilight. I'm not worried, because relatable situations will help me become a wise person in my preferred career.
Einstein didn't say not a thing in his theories, and look what happened to him!
He died of internal bleeding?
Well, yes, but...
So because she didn't get any of the facts dapped into her brain, Rainbow Dash gets all the press. And while trying to convince that she is not incapable of learning, Twilight Sparkle realizes the most effective way to help teach Rainbow Dash learn what she needs to know. A trick so ingenious that it was the same thing that was referenced in the first minute of the episode! And this is a question of my own that I want you guys to answer based on this revelation. Okay, so the question here is, what was the most effective way to help teach Rainbow Dash what she needs to know? Your choices are being 20% cooler, thinking about breakfast, having the worst of panic attacks, or multitasking while flying. If your answer was D, then clearly the company that supplied these questions right here didn't want to have the reputation of having a failed exam for anybody. Thanks, elementary school board! Yes, by analyzing her surroundings and hearing out other ponies around her, not just right next to her, Rainbow Dash finally learns about the history of the Wonderbolts that will never be referenced again. Maybe, well, she passed anyway, so yippity skippity, I can't be bothered to do an overexcited whoop sound today. Also buy this book right here if I'm wrong about any of the things I've just said right now. And with that, testing 1, 2, 3 isn't my favorite episode of Friendship is Magic, but it earns my respect for what it does, showing that no one is alone in their struggles to learn, and teaching their viewers that everyone has a different way to process information, and to put what they've learned to good use. One step closer to achieving your dreams, Rainbow Dash. And all you had to do was buckle down and study. Sort of. And this whole experience can be summed up perfectly on the last question of this silly little exam. Let's see, the last question is... what has Rainbow Dash learned by the end of this episode? Ooh, you know, after everything I've seen, after everything I learned, just looking at all the evidence right here, the answer is so obviously and clearly... not a thing! Because you see, she had her gift all along and she didn't need help tapping into that, obviously. She just need help seeing it, realizing it. You know, she learned not a thing.
You learned diddly squat, mister, and for that, I deem the grade for your shameful examination to be...
A plus 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 plus.
But that's impossible! You just put the same answer in for all 3 questions! Even Einstein's quantum equations, E equals mc squared, then... oh no. No. It can't be. The most famous equation of all time in all physics and all science! All this time, the answer was really...
not a thing. I knew that all along. So, Princess Twilight, where's my reward for being such a smarty pants? Admiral Fairy Fly! Oh! Tight! What?